While we're at it, I'm going to make my second and final parenting point. While we're here, I'm going to say, always tell your kids the truth.
Hmm.
I look across my friend group growing up. I look across our peer group raising kids, and there would be parents that would constantly, maybe lie is a bit of a harsh word, but they would not tell them, not be truthful with them. Oh,
Yeah.
well, you didn't make the team because those are the older kids, or those are the bigger girls, or whatever it is, or something as simple as, I'm a pet dying.
Yeah.
Like, just it ran away. I'm sure it'll come back. Why don't you guys make some signs? We'll put them up. I knew the wife ran him over with the car, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so like they would know that they could come, like when something was going on, and if it wasn't clear, that they could get me in the car and they could say what happened, and I would tell them the absolute truth about whatever it was. They need to know that we're broken too. They need to know that we make mistakes, that we're not just because we're a parent to you doesn't mean that we don't have failings, and that face the same struggles that they're going to face. And what happens is, if your kids know that you lie to them, then they will never trust you when you tell them something. And then
Yeah.
I think, in addition to that, they won't share things with you because you haven't been candid with them. And by the way, they know exactly when you're lying, like all the time. And it can be a little thing. So these little moments we have with our kids to be truthful when either it doesn't matter, when you think it might not matter, is really fundamental to establishing this. This kind of real world view of risk and reward and failure and all of those things. And it's subtle, but it's significant. I have found it to be significant.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff, that's such a huge point, man. I'm glad you are talking about that, and I think that is to me it's priority, at least top three priorities as a parent. And you think about this, how many truth tellers do our kids really have in their lives? They're usually their friends are going to blow smoke and tell them what they want to hear. They probably get that a lot at school, especially in athletics. A lot of coaches will just prop kids up these days, just trying to help their self-esteem, and it's not good, it's not healthy. And you're exactly right, we've got to be truth tellers. And I will say this too, I'm a recovering teller. When my kids were young, I remember trying to tell them everything, right? Tell them how to do life, tell them how to do this. And what I found out as they got older, I had to make a shift in my parenting from a teller to asking better questions. And I can tell you, Jeff, I think my boys, all three of them, would tell you that I became really good at that because I practiced it. I practiced it on them. After games, a typical conversation would be, "Hey, Connor, tell me how you felt about your performance today. What could you have done better? What do you want to celebrate? What did you do right today? Right?" And so we would have those conversations. I didn't want it. They knew about their performance or what they did in the game. I didn't need to tell them anything. But I certainly wanted to ask those questions to see where they were coming from and what they wanted to focus on. And then they would ask me questions back. And that became a great conversation. And so I think my sons would tell you the same thing today. Dad, can you quit asking us the tough questions? I said, well, that's what makes the conversation great, right? I want to know, what are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to? What are some of the things you have to overcome to get there and reach your goals? And tell me about that. I use that phrase all the time. Tell me more about that. So, yeah, Jeff, I think that's such a key, to be a truth teller to our kids, because they just are not surrounded with that a lot these days.
When they start asking you questions back for feedback, that you would know that strategy worked.
Yeah,
And
we're winning. We're winning at that point.
when they seek your advice, and um, they don't just get away from you because they think you're going to just start telling them how they need to live their life. I really applaud that, Pat.